Hi, Artemis Paint here. I haven't made a video for several months, however I'm back now and I will be making regular videos. What I've been doing over the last few months is writing a book on trading on horse racing. The purpose of this video is to tell you about the book, which will be available in a few days. This is the book that every aspiring trader needs to read. For many traders, this book will completely change your perspective of what the market is and what you need to do to try and make money from it. So I will tell you about the book after the intro. So my book is called Directional Trading on Horse Racing, Red Pill Trading. I will explain why I chose this title later in the video. All of the ideas and theories in the book are from my own analysis of what the market is and how we can develop trading methods. The book is my own work. This is not a repackaging of other people's ideas. If you watched my Reading the Market videos, you'll already be aware that information that I present is based on my own work and my own thinking. The book will be published on Amazon Kindle. You don't need a Kindle to read it. If you don't have a Kindle, you can read it on the Amazon website. The book should be available on Amazon around the weekend. I'm holding off publishing the book as a paperback for a couple of months. If I get questions about the book, it might mean that I need to explain a part of the book more clearly. Therefore, I can make editorial changes before I publish it as a paperback. And if you bought it on Kindle, you will get these editorial changes. So, if you've watched my Reading the Market videos, you'll already know how I think about markets. Directional Trading on Horse Racing puts all the pieces into place. The book is a standalone book in that any trader can read the book. There is content that overlaps with the Reading the Market videos in this book. However, it also includes a lot more detail and important new information. So the first question I imagine many people will have is, are there real trading strategies in the book? The answer is yes. I discuss potential trading ideas in various places in the book. However, in Chapter 7, I explain my best lay-first trades. I'm talking about being selective with our trades, so don't expect to be able to go through the card and trade on every race. And I can't guarantee that you'll win. I'm not just saying that for legal reasons. I'm also saying that because there's always an element of interpretation and opinion involved in any trade. What I can say is that I've described these trading methods to the best of my ability and I have not left any information out. My trades are based on logic. I figure stuff out in my off-the-ladder work. Before I test any method, I use logic and reasoning to determine why the trade should theoretically work. It's this type of reasoning that I want you to learn from the book. You might just be interested in my trading methods. However, the aim of the book is to open people's minds. The subtitle of my book is Red Pill Trading. The idea of taking the blue and red pill comes from a scene in the 1999 film The Matrix. In the film, the main character Neo was offered a choice between the red pill and the blue pill. The red pill represented learning a truth that would lead to a difficult path in which he would view the world as it really is. The blue pill represented living in blissful ignorance within the simulated reality of a computer-simulated world known as the Matrix. However, in trading, there's an important difference between the blue and red pill. The trading blue pill is not blissful at all. The blue pill leads to brain fog, confusion, and frustration while you're rummaging around in a rabbit hole. The red pill represents clarity of thought and the development of new ideas. Overall, it represents freedom and a journey. And you might have heard that trading is a journey. The red pill opens up that journey, and I think that journey is interesting. As I've said, my whole book is about reading the market. So let's talk a bit about reading the market. So where did the phrase reading the market come from? Well, I was a punter in the late 80s and early 90s, and this was before the internet and before trading ladders were invented. And back then I can remember that the tipsters in the Sporting Life and the Racing Post would sometimes tell punters to read the market. There were different ways that they would say this, and they still say this today. For example, the Timeform race comments on the horse Sue Surveillance say worth a market check. And although this is on the Betfair exchange, the Timeform comments are aimed at punters and not traders. The Timeform tipster is trying to pick winners, not market movers. This is a different race in the Racing Post. And beneath the race, there are comments on the horses. And if you look at the comments on the horses, you'll see that the tipster says, check the market signals for the horse called Tommy Dan. And usually the tipster advises punters to check the market when there's an information gap on a horse. The point is that punters were reading markets way before we had access to trading ladders and way before traders even existed. I mean, the bookmakers are traders, so when I say that punters were reading markets before traders existed, I'm talking about traders like us. So what I've done is adapt the traditional punter version of reading markets for the purposes of trading. We need to adapt it because we, traders, are not reading the market for the same purpose as punters. We can use form and the betting to read the market. If you can't read form, check out my Reading the Market Part 4 video. The How to Read Form part of the video is less than an hour long. Once you've watched that, you know enough about form reading to understand my trading ideas. In the past, I've criticised the use of technical analysis for trading. So if you don't know what technical analysis is, it's using any of the variables on this slide except for form. Most blue pill traders don't take much notice of market movers during the day. They tend to focus on the variables on the right-hand side. For a financial trader, technical analysis involves looking at graphs and technical indicators such as volume, but not looking at the company profile. Once you look at the company profile in financial trading, or the form of a horse in sports trading, you are not using technical analysis. You are using a method called fundamental analysis. I've seen arguments levelled at me on forums where someone says that they worked at a financial company and saw that traders used graphs, and their argument is that these traders must have been using technical analysis because they were looking at graphs. So to reiterate what technical analysis is, it's using variables such as graphs, volume, and various equations without researching the horse or company. And it's unlikely that traders in a big financial company don't study a company's balance sheets before trading on the company. Therefore, even though they're looking at graphs, they're almost certainly using fundamental analysis. So the blue pill trader uses graphs, volume, order flow, and the betting close to the start of the race to make decisions. The red pill trader also uses these variables. However, in addition to these variables, the red pill trader uses form and takes notice of market moves during the day. And the important part is that the red pill trader links all of these variables together. And the key to interpretation and prediction is form. This is because once you link form with the other variables, in certain situations you can interpret and predict the betting close to the time of the race more accurately than if you didn't use form. Now, you can only do this in certain cases. If you can't make a clear prediction, you don't trade. So the form reader is looking for specific situations to trade in. So now I'll explain why I've used the title Directional Trading for my book. I'll give you an example of linking form with a graph. Let's say you see a graph like this. What would you expect to occur in the future? The question is whether the drift is genuine or fake. It depends on the form of the horse. If the horse has strong recent form, the drift is likely to be genuine. As I've said in previous videos, when the market hates a horse with strong form, this is likely to be genuine. The reason for this is that punters are likely to bet on such a horse. Therefore, if the horse is drifting, in spite of the money being bet on it, the drift is likely to be genuine. The important concept here is that we have a single direction hypothesis. We have no interest in a back first trade on the horse, we're only interested in a lay first trade. So the only thing left for us to do is to find a good position to enter the trade. Now, I seldom lay at the top of a horse's range, therefore I would hope that the odds come down before they go up again. I would aim to lay when the odds come down and slow down. So I'd be looking for this situation. If the odds didn't come down and continued to drift, I would accept that I've missed the trade. When you decide on an entry point, you can't cover all bases. So what if the horse doesn't have strong form? Well, you should always be suspicious if a bad form horse is put in as favourite. You shouldn't assume that the bookies have got it wrong. You should assume that they've had a whisper. And in this case, we don't know what will happen next. The drift could be genuine, or it could be the setup for a late gamble. And the only people who would know how good the horse will run and what will occur next in the betting would be those with inside information. So for me, this would be a no trade situation. So let's go back to the strong form horse. What I want you to get is that I always open a race in the ladder with a single direction hypothesis. The blue pill trader has two hypotheses. The horse might drift or the horse might get back. And it's impossible to plan your trade when you have two hypotheses. If the odds come down, does that mean that they'll continue to come down because the horse has been backed? Or does it mean the odds will drift because the main trend is the drift? Obviously, when you trade without a long-term view of where the odds will go, it's easy to end up chasing odds all over the place. To plan a trade, you need to have a view on the final direction of the odds, and this is why I've named the book Directional Trading. There are a couple of trading methods in Chapter 7 of the book that rely on market moves early in the day more than form. So we can divide the variables on this slide into two categories. Form and market moves throughout the day can provide us with a direction to trade in. Order flow and odds movements can sometimes help us when to enter the trade. But to be honest, I don't really take much notice of the size of orders in the ladder. Often I see big money appear to block the direction of the odds that I want to trade in, and most of the time this big money disappears when the odds approach it. With odds movements, sometimes they can help you to decide not to enter a trade. For example, I was planning to lay a drifter yesterday close to the time of the race. I was waiting for the odds to come down. Instead of the odds coming down slowly, they jumped down by several ticks in one go. In addition, quite a lot of money got matched in that odds jump. It looked as if one person really wanted to back the horse. Therefore, I decided not to trade. It turned out that I was right not to trade. After you have a long-term view of your trade, if something unexpected occurs, you just have to use a bit of common sense. I haven't talked about graphs as an indicator because there's an overlap between odds movements and graphs, with graphs just being a visual representation of odds movements. And I haven't included volume because this is a bit of a grey area. There is a chapter on volume in the book, and I do look at volume. It does have some merit as an indicator, however, it also has a lot of limitations. So what you're getting in the book is the real version of reading the market. There are also trading methods in the book, but most importantly, directional trading aims to provide a solid theoretical foundation for trading. I plan to start a membership website where we can discuss ideas. There's a link at the end of the book for readers who would like to join my email list. Once you've read the book, I would appreciate any reviews. So that's all for this video. Take care and good luck.